first time ever, I am actually not even walking into frame because I'm already sitting down for what I'm doing today, filming today. And we'll get into why that is in a second here. But first off, welcome back to EggWars. I'm sure I look like absolute shit warmed over. I'm sure you're noticing I'm wearing the same clothes as I was already wearing in the last episode. But I assure you I'm filming this the next day and actually much later. I'm kind of worried that we're not even going to get this out at a decent time today, but I'm going to try and hit before at least, as long as it's before midnight, I'm still hitting one a day. That's all good. But anyways, thank you for tuning in once again. Glad to have you here. Hope you're doing well. Let's go ahead and crack this motherfucking sip. And since we're using the external mic today, I'm going to crack right in that motherfucker. HD sip crack, baby! Woo! It tastes a little off, actually. That's weird. Obviously, I fucking made I'll tell you about that in a second, but, it's weird. It's a little, it has a little bit of a strange taste to it that's not normal. That's weird. Maybe it's just the meds I'm on. Maybe shit tastes different right now. I don't know. Not gonna worry about it. But I went through the most fucking awful trek to get that fucking drink today. Let me tell you something, alright? First off, before I get too far into anything, so, like I said yesterday, I was hurting, I was kind of in bad shape, but I hadn't really known what was going on. So today, I still, it was never my intention to go to the hospital, doctor, or anything like that. I'm like, fuck, man. I already have this surgery coming up in the second week of November. I'm like, I'm not trying to go to the doctor right now. Yes, I still have insurance for a couple more months. But even with insurance, it's still going to be probably some amount of money that I don't want to spend, you know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck it. I don't care. I'm trying to do as much as I can to stay as healthy as I can, stay as good as I can without having to go to the fucking doctor, not having to worry about that shit. So I'm like, okay, it's all good. It's all whatever, right? So anyways, I got up today, and I actually felt a little bit better at first because I got up and I hadn't woken up at all the whole night, and I wasn't even on my pain meds or anything, you know what I mean? I didn't have any legit prescribed pain meds till today. But I hadn't taken any ibuprofen, Advil, Tylenol, none of that, and I had slept pretty much just fine. So I was thinking, okay, maybe I'm better, but once I got up and I tried, I wasn't even trying to walk, full on walk. All I was just doing was applying my foot, applying pressure to the ground, just ever so slightly, and it was still very, very severe pain. So I was kind of laying down in bed or whatever, laying in the dark, and my aunt did not have to work today, so she just came down to check on me. She's like, oh, hey, what's up? You still kind of, you're still hurting, do you need anything at all? I'm like, oh, I appreciate that very much, but I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good, I'm feeling alright. And she's like, well, I'm worried, I think you should really go to the hospital, because if you still can't walk on it, and it's been over 24 hours, I think, we should see if we can get an appointment scheduled today, see what we can do. And I'm just like, yeah, I have insurance, but I just don't want to do it. I was like, I'm just not going to do it now. And so I was kind of sitting in the dark, so she flipped the lights on, and she's like, well, let's just see how it looks right now. So, we're looking at it, and I kind of hadn't really looked that closely at it, and all of a sudden we're looking more closely at it. I'm like, oh, shit, yeah, okay. It's fucking bent, my one leg is straight like this, and of course, I think I mentioned this yesterday, but this one but it was, very, very obvious. I'm trying to put them both straight out, and the fucking foot's, bent at an angle, and also, swollen, my ankle. I've never even seen my ankle look like that. It was you couldn't even see the ankle. It was a fucking just total ball. It was fucking a goddamn grapefruit. It was crazy. And then my foot, a lot of I said discoloration, but very significant bruising where I'd hit it before. It was kind of purple, and it wasn't looking good at all. So finally, my aunt's just like, you should really go to the hospital. I have off today. You can't drive there. We gotta figure something out. So I'm like, fuck it. Okay, fine. I'm gonna go to the hospital. Fine. Let's go. It's whatever. So, she drives me to the hospital. And I get out. Now, because of what I had done before, where I was going to get that sip, I had only had one crutch with me. Because I only had one crutch with me when I went to get the sip. Which, once again, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I just felt like I would be too bulky with 2 crutches when I went on this small excursion because I needed my energy drink. Anyway, enough of that. We'll get back to that in a little bit here. So we get to the hospital, and I get out of the vehicle, and I start hobbling over, on my one fucking crutch. I'm goddamn holding it. I got this part under my fucking under my armpits, but I'm like holding on with my other arm because I don't have my other crutch, but I guess that's how I was doing. I felt like that was okay. I'm like, whatever. So I'm coming up to the door, and this lady who, I guess, apparently she worked there. I couldn't tell. She didn't have like an outfit on or anything. Like, she didn't have a badge or anything, but apparently she worked there. So she's like, oh shit, you look like you're in a lot of pain. And I'm like, yeah. Of course, I'm even sweatier and greasy. Like, I'm shitty looking now, but at the time, I was actually like covered in sweat from fucking, galloping around with my little crutch. And so she quick, grabs one of the wheelchairs, like one of the wheelchairs that's just in the hospital that they got at the front door for people who need them. And she fucking pops it open, fucking drops the shit, the little foot holders and the leg pads or whatever, drops it all down. She sets me down in the fucking wheelchair and wheels me over to the registration counter where I have to like check in for my appointment or whatever. So I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool. That's pretty legit. So we chilled in the waiting room for a little while then after I'm all signed in, and we're just kind of chilling because it was just a really busy day. We had an appointment scheduled and everything, but there was just a lot of people, I guess. There was like a lot of emergency shit going on, so it was like, whatever, it was kind of haphazard, the times weren't exact of when it was supposed to be. But we only had to wait like an extra 10 minutes beyond the appointment. So I go in, we get checked in and everything. The nurse is like, well, we can't weigh you because you can't stand up on our scale. And I'm like, that's good because I'm a fat motherfucker. I don't even want to see what I weigh, even though I just weighed myself like a few days ago and I was 200 pounds, which is way too much for me. But I'm like, well, I'm not, it's better this way. So she takes my vitals and everything. Everything's looking good. We go and we're chilling, we're waiting for the doctor, and I'm just kind of like chilling. I'm laying back in the fucking, in the hospital bed, just chillaxing, just da-da-da-da-da, whatever. And the doctor comes in, he's got like a med student who's like interning under him or whatever. So they come in and they're just like shooting the shit and they're looking at my fucking leg and they're like, oh, they're checking all the different shit. Like, oh, does it hurt here? Does it hurt here? They're laughing at me because I broke my foot dancing, and they're just like, oh, you're rowdy young fella, are ya? And they're fucking like feeling over my foot, and I'm like, okay, that, the one part doesn't hurt, and the other part hurts like a motherfucker. So they're like, okay, we're looking at, okay. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get you, we'll go get these x-rays for you and see what it's looking like. So we chilled for a little bit longer, then another chick comes back with the wheelchair again, and she's like, alright, hop in the wheelchair, we're going to x-rays. So go down to x-rays, and there's all these old women sitting there fucking just being like really weird. Like, I'm sitting there trying to read some torn up ass old, like cookbook or some shit that they have there for people to read. And this old lady, there was this receptionist chick there that was like trying to like help these old women. She looked very beautiful. I'm gonna assume though she looked like she was getting a little bit past her prime. She looked like she was probably like late 20s. But she had like the long dark hair, kind of pale, kind of just good looking, kind of chick. And I was like, damn, I bet like 10 years ago, she was probably real fine. She was probably like, when she was like right at that like, 19, 20-year-old stage, if somebody just fucking locked that down, I bet she would have been a great wife. But instead, she's probably just doing some stupid shit. These old women are like, I don't feel good. I need somebody to talk to. I need to talk to the manager. And like, listen, you fucking boomers can't even get away from me. I'm going to the hospital. I'm sitting in front of the fucking radiology department waiting to get my x-rays. And I saw all these old ass boomer women just sitting around just bitching about stupid shit that nobody cares about, Well, finally, this dude, he comes in, he wheels me into the fucking in the fucking x-ray. He's a pretty cool guy. He's a pretty chill dude. He's just like, all right, yeah, hold your fucking foot up if you can hold it this way to take like this side, and then this side, and then this way, and that way, and all these other whatever. Get the x-rays done. And he's like, all right, everything's pretty good. So, all right, I'm just kind of laying there chilling. He helps me back into the wheelchair, gets some dude to wheel me back. Instead of like going straight back to the to my room that I had been in, he fucking like wheels me through the waiting room again. And there's like all these like old people just like sitting around and complaining. But I got wheeled back in to my spot, and I'm sitting and chilling or whatever, waiting on the verdict, on the decision. And dude comes in, he goes, yep. So not only did you sprain your ankle, because my ankle's fucked up, like it looks like a goddamn softball, a goddamn grapefruit. He's like, yeah, you fucked that up, but you also broke the outer bone of your foot. That's the because I came down on the right side of my foot, of my right foot. So he's like, basically, like the pinky toe is not broken, which I've broken it. Wasn't my pinky toe I broke before? There's been a toe I've broken at one point. This was a couple years ago. But anyway, he's like, yeah, it's not the pinky toe that's broken. It's like basically a little ways down, about like halfway down the foot. So it's like kind of like at the center of the foot, but it's like the bone that goes up into the pinky toe. Like that shit's fractured. And he's like, listen, all right, there is a chance that you are going to need surgery to be able to fix this toe. He's like, it's extremely, extremely sensitive. Basically, like you could walk on it once, like the wrong way, after this fracture, if it's not healed, and it could fucking like just totally go off in like a direction where you're gonna need to have it screwed together then in your foot. So, I thought back to the night that I broke it and how I was walking around and also still just kind of I fucking actually was dancing a little bit after I'd heard it. Like I kind of like, cause I couldn't like lift it up. You know what I mean? I had like set very gracefully on the floor, but I was still kind of just like doing like this with my hands and shit while the foot's already fucking broken. So he's like, yeah, man, what we're gonna do is, we're gonna have you come in every so often over the next like 6 weeks and make sure that it's not getting out of place. And then, just keep an eye on it. And if it does end up coming out of place or something like that, then we'll have to get you in surgery. So what do I got on right now? I don't know if I can even get this fucking thing into the goddamn view of the camera. Oh, 'cause my fucking tailbone hurts too. Oh, I'm gonna try it. Oh, I got the big fucking boot. The big old boot. The big old fucking Jumbotron boot. Fucking self-inflator. All this shit, man, it's fucking crazy. It's a fucking self-inflating boot. And now I got this shit strapped onto my fucking leg. And I got that. Prescribed me some tramadol pain pills. And they're alright. I haven't been in a lot of pain anyway. If I'm not moving, I'm not really in a lot of pain, so obviously, there's some big shit I have coming up in next week where I'm going to need to be moving, and so I'm pretty much just gonna save my shit for then and just be like, alright, use it when I need it, cause I got like 6 days worth or whatever, but I mean, if I'm supposed to be out for like 6 fucking weeks, I don't know if he'll prescribe me more or not. We're gonna see how that goes, but anyways, back to the story of how I got this fucking drink today. I get up, and I'm like, you know what, I gotta do EggWars today, and this was fucking like 8 hours ago probably. So I get up, I'm like, man, I gotta do EggWars today. I had all kinds of hopes and dreams. EggWars, showering, all these things, some of which did not come true, but soon. But I'm like, God, I can't do EggWars without the sip. Maybe I wouldn't even need it energy-wise, but it's just an iconic portion of the program now. It's like, I gotta have it, so I get up, and I'm just like, alright, well, I gotta figure this out. What am I gonna do? So I had some cash on me, and I said I gotta go down to the store. And so I actually drove down there, but I was not able to. I drove down there with my one single crutch and driving with my left foot. I had my fucking right foot because I didn't have this big ass thing on there at the time, so I had my fucking right foot like laid up like I was doing the fucking splits, like I was in a fucking porno or something, having my dick hanging out, And I had my left foot down there fucking working the pedal and the gas and the brakes and shit, and I'm boom, 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 boom down to the store. Wasn't really very safe, but it wasn't that bad either. But anyways, I get there and they're getting a fucking delivery, so I can't park real close to the store as close as I would have liked to. So I gotta walk in with my fucking crutch, and I'm fucking hobbling around the parking lot all the way up to the fucking door. And I'm walking into to the fucking energy drink aisle, and I was like, well, shit, I should probably get a few of these. Didn't have a basket, of course, because that would have been way too sensible. Well, I'm like, shit, well, I don't know when I'm going to want to come back down here to get the shit. I want to keep doing EggWars, whether I fucking change clothes or bathe or whatever the case might be, That's not going to stop me from having my my camera and everything with me to do EggWars. So I'm like, shit, well, I gotta play it cool. I gotta be smart. So I grabbed a few and I had like one fucking under my armpit and like two up my hands like this. And I'm fucking there with my one crutch, just through the aisles. People looking at me like I'm crazy. Of course, I didn't even have a sock or a shoe on my bad foot because it fucking would hurt to put that shit on. So it's just my goddamn bare foot hanging around, flopping around. And I get up there, and I get the shit. I get my drinks, get them bagged up. Now, shout out to the chick who checked me out, and I'm not talking about peeping this delicious piece of manliness right here. I'm talking about the chick who rang me out at the store because she saw that I was in a rough position, and she was like, listen, all right, you know what, how about, it was slow because they were doing this delivery, so I guess that, some people were just not really stopping in at the time. They were kind of, driving by because they, whatever, You know how people are. They get, They get kind of picky about that sort of stuff, so fickle. So she's like, yeah, I got time, I'll bring your shit out to your car. So she goes and she takes my bag and walks out to my car. Now, I could have just had the shit unlocked, but I wasn't thinking about it, you know what I mean? I wasn't anticipating this to happen. So I'm fucking sitting there with my fucking cane, or my fucking crutch, just doom, 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 getting to my, fucking car. And she's just standing there, and I'm just like, oh, Christ. Nice lady, shout out to, it's gonna be, I'm gonna respect women for this time period today. That was a very nice lady who brought that out to my car for me. She was a nice young lady. So shout out to her. Shout out to women, for all the women who did something good today. So I'm fucking clunking in my car. I get in there. I'm fucking cramming the goddamn crutch in the back seat through the goddamn driver's side window. But we're here. We got sips. And nobody's gonna stop us from having sips, no matter what fucking bones I'm breaking. Even though I can strongly smell myself. Oh my goodness. Oh god, I was so sweaty from this shit. I'm in such bad shape, fucking going up the stairs with crutches, going downstairs with crutches, fucking going to the store with crutches. Oh my god, I smell so much like sweat. It's disgusting. But that's why nobody's here. I don't really have to give a shit, I guess. Yeah. And so anyways, so that's pretty much where we're at right now. Hopefully I won't have to have surgery on my foot. I really hope not. But if I do, that's gonna suck. But, silver lining, the proposed date if I were to have surgery is right before I lose my insurance. So at least it would be covered to some extent with that. Although I'm sorry. This is how it was. I had to fucking plan next time I have to go to the doctor for my next x-ray on this shit to make sure it's staying in place. I had to be oh shit, because I thought it was gonna be the same day I'm having my fucking oral surgery. I'm like, god damn it. I'm not happy about this, honestly. I'm really not happy about that at all. It's silly, you know what I mean? It's silly to just be okay, it's something I gotta do. I'm not losing a fucking arm, a leg, I'm not gonna be crippled or anything, but I just don't, it's just not something I'm looking forward to. I feel down about it, and maybe it's just kind of weird, I don't know. But just thinking about having to have surgery and stuff, it's just I don't know, I'm it just feels I don't even know how to describe it. I just don't know how to describe it. It feels like I'm doing something that I'm God, I don't know. It just gets me down, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. But anyways, I also wanted to say, this is totally on a whole other topic, but this is just something I've never cleared the air about ever in my life, and I really just need to say it right now because it has pissed me off so many times in life. You seen, I lifted my boot up, you see the pants I'm wearing right now, these are some pretty good pants. Back when I had more money that I actually used to care about buying outfits and shit to wear, let's say extremist days, I bought 5 pairs of these pants. Now the reason is because, at the time, I wanted to, a lot of my wardrobe I'm fucking wearing clothes with holes and shit in them. I'm wearing all kinds of fucking clothes I've had for years. I'm trying to step it up a little bit. I'm trying to do a little bit better, So I'd go to the mall, and I would go to some of these stores in the mall, and I would see some shit that would be okay, you know what, I can dig that aesthetic. You guys might have seen my fucking, I'm not gonna be able to get up to look at any goddamn thing while I'm filming this, but these pants that I had, I've worn before that are fucking white ripped jeans with fucking zippers in the knees and shit like that. There's some shit like that I ordered that offline, and that fits pretty good. It's a little bit tight, makes my butt look a little big. But, there's some shit like that where it's okay, that looks kinda gangster, kinda chill, kinda cool, and I can find that in my size. But if I go to the fucking mall ever, ever, any fucking place I've been to, any fucking mall, anywhere. You know what? All the good clothing is midget size. So I want to say, fuck all you clothing designers making your fucking midget clothes. Like, who goes to the fucking mall and sees a pair of fucking nice looking pants that are 29 waist, 29 length? I'm like, shit. I couldn't have wore that shit like 15 years ago, alright? I was fucking 5'9" when I was like 10 years old, you know what I mean? Although I did peak a little bit early. I was the tallest kid in my grade for like a year or two until like junior high, then I wasn't really anymore. But at one point I was. So anyways, my point is, you know what? I had to go through so many fucking weeks of trying to find a decent wardrobe selection of these pants in my size, which is either 32, 34, or right now I'm kind of a little bit fatter, so I'm wearing the 34, 34, but even when I'm wearing the 32, 34, you know, I'm not breaking the fucking buttons off or anything, really. But for God's sakes, you know what I mean? Like, make some fucking longer pants. I could wear shit that's got a big waist even, you know what I mean? I could wear a big waisted pants and just fucking wear a belt. It's not a big deal, you know what I mean? But make pants, I mean, 30 length, nobody's wearing that. Unless you're wearing fucking shorts. 30 length? I mean, come on. What the fuck, man? Make some good shit that looks good and is a little bit longer, right? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Alright, so that out of the way. Now, people have been saying to me before, they said, Eggman, we need some more hobo stories. We want to hear more about hobos. And I'm like, fuck, I don't even remember what video was I talking about hobos. Like, somebody mentioned it at first on the Joe Trilogy video. I'm like, shit. I've said a couple different hobo stories. I mean, yeah, we got Joe Garbaggio, so I guess that's probably where it comes from. I've talked about hobo stories, like, on streams before, but there's never really been, like, I don't think I've ever made a hobo video, you know what I mean? I don't think I've ever said anything like that before. So, anyways, there's one guy who comes to mind, so let's see here. There's like one other small story that maybe could fit, but I think we should be able to fill up the rest of EggWars today talking about hobo story. I never even had a name for this guy, honestly. I don't even know what the fuck his name even is. I still don't. I've known him I knew of him for years. Still don't even know what the fuck his actual name is supposed to be. But me and this dude goes back a ways. Although I will say, I'm trying to think. He's the type of guy, he was a hobo as far as I knew. Well, actually, the thing is, I thought he was a hobo for the longest time, because he's the most hobo-looking motherfucker. I mean, dirty motherfucker, wearing the same clothes all the time, just fucking dirty. No car or anything, he's just riding his bike around, he's got fucking trash bags hanging off the bike. Looks like a motherfucking hobo. Turns out, actually, when did I learn this? I think it was in 2013, maybe. So this is like, I'd known of him for a couple years at this point. But I don't think he was actually even a hobo. He had a home somewhere, but like, his home was like the shit was paid up, it was paid for, the taxes on the shit were paid, like the property was maintained to where it wasn't a legal concern or anything like that, but it was like people just didn't, it was kind of like almost like a bando. Cause I talked to a cop about it one time, and I'll get to that part, but basically the cop told me when I eventually had to get the police involved with this guy one time, they told him like, you know, this guy is probably fucking Ed Gein. He's probably got like 10 million corpses in his fucking house, so like the police just try to avoid him. I'm like, what the fuck kind of sense does that make? If you think a guy's doing some weirdo shit, wouldn't you be like more inclined to be like, hey, what are you doing, motherfucker? You know, maybe it's just me. Hey, you know what? I've never been good for a cop, so whatever. Hey, whatever. It's all good, right? It's all good. So I was going back to when I first met this guy. I do believe it all started in 2011. I was working my first gas station job, and 2011 was my in-between part where it was a couple years, like 2011, 2012, where I just did not have a vehicle. I wasn't driving, didn't have a vehicle, so that's just what it was at the time. So I would walk to and from work, and this is the first time I can remember meeting this guy. I was walking home from work, and he pulls up on me on his dirty fucking bike. And this guy was the most nasty motherfucker. Just like I said, nasty. And the way he talked, everything about him, you know, looked like a goddamn, just disgusting. But he pulls up on me, and he goes, "Hey there, kid. Hey there, kid. You like video games, kid? You like video games? I got a Nintendo It's real cheap. You want to see it? And I'm sitting there. I'm like, no, dude. I'm good. I'm good on that. I don't need to see that. I'm cool. We're good. Everything's cool. I'm just going to be about my business. I'm going to be on my way. And he fucking follows me all the way back to, well, the thing is that, you know, if you're familiar with, people trying to fuck with you before, you know, like, circle around the block before I'm parking. I'm still cautious, whatever, however that song goes. So I did. I was walking, and he was like following me pretty much to like where I was gonna go home. And I cut up another block around, and I ended up, he ended up, at that point, he like ended up going somewhere else, thank God. Cause all I'm thinking to myself is like, I'm gonna go home, and this fucking hobo is gonna like fucking scope me the fuck out, and he's gonna break in and fucking rob something, you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck this guy. So I wasn't real big on him to begin with. But anyways, his main thing was just trying to keep an eye on him because, he was all about, like he said, with this whole like Nintendo shit. His whole thing was always finding some junk and trying to like to sell the junk for money. You're trying to like, he was like a scavenger, whatever, he was looking for shit to try and make some money off of, trying to get his hustle on. But at the gas station I was working at the time, a huge problem was homeless people fucking going and they would like dump out our garbages, you know what I mean? Cause I would always, take out the garbage for all the fucking gas pumps and everything when I was working, cause that just makes sense. You do that. Of course, everybody else was a fucking lazy retard, so they didn't do that. And so they would see garbage and be like, oh, maybe there's some cans in there. I could take the cans to sell. So they would fucking just straight up we had to start putting big cement blocks underneath the trash bags, like at the base of the garbage can, because they would just fucking dump the whole goddamn garbage can out in the parking lot, sort it out for shit, and leave. Which, of course, I also had to clean up, because fuck my stupid, worthless piece of shit first job. But other than him doing that, where he was doing the shit with the cans and being the kind of a creepy motherfucker, at that point, it wasn't such a big thing, alright? But then I started working at this grocery store, and there was a guy who I had worked with at the gas station at one point. His girlfriend worked at the same grocery store, I do believe at the time. I'm pretty sure. God. Yeah, it was right around this time, because there was an overlap of sorts. She started working there after I did, but anyways, not important. So he had started working there, and me and this guy who I'd worked with were on real friendly terms. So, we're both like gaming, all that good stuff. So his girlfriend was working at this store, and, it wasn't uncommon. There was certain guys who would come in. There was like one guy named Steve who was a real crazy motherfucker, like totally batshit insane. This old guy. He actually worked there at one point until he was like trying to fucking rape some like 18-year-old chick who was working there, who I had, gone to school with actually at one point. And she was like not attractive. She had gone to the fucking like alternative school I went to. She was not attractive. She was like retarded, but he was like all up in her business. So he ended up getting fired. And he was just a crazy motherfucker. He would like just go and just like talk to strangers and like say the most fucking off the wall shit about like, yeah, man, I'm trying to fucking find a bitch. I'm gonna find a bitch. I'm gonna shove my whole goddamn arm right up her pussy, right up into my fucking shoulder. Ah! He's fucking smoking his goddamn like Lucy's he would fucking find on the ground. He'd be like fucking like the fucking paper would be like fucking like quad angled all fucking types of ways because it was like getting ran over and shit. He was the the dude's nuts. Anyway, so there was guys like of that sort who would already come in and be like, "Hey baby, what's going on? How you doing?" But this guy, the fucking bum, the old can snatcher, fucking dumpster diver bum. He took the shit to the next level, cause, at this time, I can't remember if I had my car yet or not at this point. But anyways, the girlfriend of the guy who I worked with, or had worked with before, she was walking a lot for exercise and save money on gas and shit, so she was walking back from work, and, in the same way that I had been approached by this bum before, she gets approached by the bum. Except he's not trying to sell her a fucking Nintendo. He's trying to be like, "Hey, what's up, baby? Hey, what's up, huh? You single? You were looking for a little loving? Ah! You know, and he's like following her like all the way to her fucking apartment, everything. And she's like fucking freaked the fuck out. Like she thinks she's gonna get raped. Cause I mean, the guy, you know, dirty motherfucker, he's not real tall, but I mean, he was like kind of, you know, I don't know if it's all the dumpster diving he did, but he was a pretty solid guy, you know, all in all. So, you know, he definitely could have overpowered her. But he followed her home and he was doing all this shit. And then I get a call from the guy who I'd worked with. He's like, yo, my girlfriend just got home to the apartment. She's fucking sobbing. This guy was fucking, I saw him like, you know, I was anticipating her to come home, and I saw her like fucking running from this guy, and he's like fucking like speeding after her like up to our fucking door. So I was like, alright, that's enough of that shit. Fuck this dude. I wanna beat his fucking ass. You know what, I'm not trying to be like a white knight or anything, but he had pissed me off enough with his fucking bumming and fucking creeping me out, you know what I mean? So I'm like, this guy's gone too far. I need to fucking beat his ass. So, I called the cops. I was like, yeah, you better go tell that fucking bum to stop being such a piece of shit, or I'm gonna fucking find that stupid motherfucker and knock his one remaining tooth that he has back down his fucking throat and, shove my foot up his ass, cause he's a fucking piece of shit. And so, they went and, you know, found him biking around or whatever and basically told him to stop fucking with me, stop fucking with anybody around me. And, anyways, the next year then, so he never came back to this grocery store that I could, at least when I was around. But next year, that was when I was stopped working at that one grocery store and I started working nights at the one gas station. So the thing would be, usually, around the nighttime, we would have our things like our day-old baked goods and stuff would get reduced and stuff like that. And dude didn't have a lot of money, you know, he usually would have like maybe some change on him for stuff, but he would come in and try and get like these donuts or whatever he could that was like the cheapest thing. But, you know, that would be like right when I was coming into work, so he would come in, you know, and he'd come in, he'd fucking set his bike up to the side, and he'd come in and he'd just give me this look like, yeah. And he would fucking like read through all the newspapers without paying for them, which would like piss me off, but I was like, this dude, you know, I don't even want to fucking, whatever, I don't care, I got better shit to do than to fucking, you know, hash it out with some goddamn bum, you know what I mean? But he would always, all the time, cause like, you know, back in my first job, whenever we talked to him, whenever he was out trying to bum around and shit, he was always coming and trying to be like a real, you know, just looking like a goddamn, who am I trying to think of? Fuck. I don't know, just looking like ridiculous, like a fucking, like 1930s, homeless bum or whatever sailor. He had like these fucking, like, this fucking caveman ridge and like these fucking sunken eyes and just like this fucking hobo beard shit. So he'd be like, hey, what's going on? You know, just looking like a fucking psycho. But after that whole, encounter that I had with him and fucking telling him to go, you know, kick rocks every time he'd come in, he'd just be like, ah. He'd just fucking like throw his change on the counter and be like, ah. So, honestly, for the most part, I just fucking hate bums. There are some very few bums who I've known in my life who have been like, okay, you know what I mean? But so many times, you know, in the city as bums, you know, they want to fight you if you don't fucking toss them some quarters. They're trying to run after you. They'll fucking, you know, you get stopped at a red light. They're trying to wash your window and fucking pound on your window. I washed your windshield, get me money! Ah! Or they're fucking, you know, they'll try and fucking like come up behind you with a fucking like napkin and quick like try to wipe off your shoe and be like, shoe shine $10, give me money! You know, all this different shit. So, I mean, there's certain ones. I've worked in soup kitchens. I've worked with the homeless through different, you know, in different mission work that I've done through the church and through different charity work I've done in the past. I like to do that shit because it makes you feel good. But at the same time, you know, I wouldn't say, a lot of times you don't see a real like overlap between those two, because usually the people who are doing all that crazy wild shit in the streets, like washing your windshield and stuff, usually they're fucking drug addicts, and a lot of times like they don't even need to do that shit. They're just trying to find the quickest buck to get drugs and stuff. Whereas at soup kitchens and stuff like that, you're seeing families, or the food shelves or whatever, you're seeing families who are just really down on their luck and, you know, and that sort of thing instead. So yeah, basically, but for the most part, I just fucking hate bums. And maybe I'll try and think up another bum story for next time so we can have a little more of that. But in any case, now I'm going to just sit here for the next like 4 hours while this renders and uploads. And then I'm going to get my sleep and hopefully just keep on trying to stay off of my broken foot. But until next time, my friends, thank you for tuning in to another Egg Wars. Hopefully the audio on this is a little better than usual. We'll see how it turns out. But no matter the thingamajig, we'll catch you next time.